For those of you that are just clicking on this video and are interested in learning more about this video, you probably know n8n as a great automation tool where you can basically train different AI agents to do some, different automations for you. You've probably seen it in other types of videos where you automate different messages to clients or you automate a specific workflow in the back end of your app. But you can also use n8n in combination with SEO, right? With SEO from your website. And for those of you that have watched my other videos, you know that I always talk about the three main pillars of SEO, right? We have pillar number one being online SEO, we have pillar number two being offline SEO, and we have pillar number three being the technical SEO. Now, in this online SEO workflow, we have three major steps, really: keyword research, page titles, page content, right? You know, at the end of the day, you want your page content to have or to answer questions. Basically, these are the questions that are being answered based on these specific keywords, right? You have a specific problem, you want to know what are the best potential solutions to solve this specific problem, or why is this problem happening? And basically you want to create like a whole informational hub based on these different keywords that answer different questions, and then basically these are like the full answers to these specific keywords, right? So in this case, I want to show you how to build or how to use AI to kind of generate keywords using n8n. So with this specific automation, you can track your keywords in comparison to your competitors and get notified on autopilot whenever something changes, right? Or whenever there's a new keyword being added inside of their website. So it might look complicated at first, but it's pretty simple, right? The first node that you see here is called when clicking execute workflow, right? So it's like a manual execution, and you can basically set this up with something like Slack, or you can have like a timed execution that happens every 6 hours, every 12 hours, every day, 24 hours. And in the second step, the second node, basically what it does is that you can just double click on it, and we add a domain that we want to track. We add the different keywords, we have the different competitors. Then when you execute this step, it basically just gives us a JSON that we're going to use for the rest of the other steps. And basically this next step is an HTTP request, which basically gets data from a specific place. In this case, we're using server.dev, which gives you 2,500 free queries to use. So this is a great resource, and it basically scrapes Google search and provides you with that keyword data. As you can see down here, we get this little preview, we have this Google search, and then it basically provides us with all of this data that we're going to be using inside of the specific workflow. And then after that node, this HTTP request, that data is then being sent into Google Sheets, where you just have to basically get the specific information from here, right? And basically create different titles or different column titles for each one of these information, right? It's pretty straightforward. If you want to get like something like title, you want to get description, for example, you can just add that inside of your Google Sheets, obviously connecting your Google Sheet as well. And then we have other types of information that are kind of being filtered out over here: related search data. People also ask organic results. Now, once you get all of this information, basically it's going to give you a big bulk of information that you want to kind of filter, right? That's why we have this filter step over here. And then basically this also like filters out your domain in comparison to all the other bunch of competitors that you're basically researching. And then that basically sorts, you can sort things out. You have an aggregator, and then basically this aggregator sends the information to a Google Sheet doc and sends it to a Telegram. So you can basically get the results as a Telegram message. And you can use Telegram, you can use something like WhatsApp as well. It's fairly easy to kind of adjust all of these different things, right? You can also update the kind of text that you're going to receive over here, right? So it's all very intuitive. It's kind of complicated in terms of organizing everything, but it's right there for you to kind of learn. And you can also use a similar workflow to create these page titles, right? Instead of doing actual keyword research, I mean, you could do the keyword research and then ask that automation or add a specific extra step to give you to provide you with suggested page titles based on these keywords, right? And if you're interested in seeing a workflow like that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll kind of create an extra tutorial on that. Now, this next workflow that is great also for online SEO is this workflow that basically finds the top 3 search results for a specific keyword, and basically scrapes that content and extracts that content, and basically creates a summarizer, creates an SEO copywriter agent, and then basically humanizes the text so that it sounds more human, and then sends that to a specific Google Drive where you can basically then store it and post it on your website. And it starts off with a chat message received, right? You have to just start it off with a chat message for this workflow to actually start. Then we get the top 3 SERP results. It's basically with this Serper dev that I was showing you before. You can also use something else like Rapid API, which basically has a great pricing, free for 1 to 5 users, right? And you have around thousands of you get 2 tests per API, up to 2,000 test calls per month, which is pretty good to test out. You can basically use that as well. Then basically from these results, you can use this structure results to get kind of the URLs from the arrays to get, for example, title if needed, or get a description if needed, just to kind of return a structured output. And the next step here would be for a loop, because you want the content to be scraped. You want a new type of HTTP request, and you want it to kind of loop over so that it goes over the different websites. And in this case, we need this loop over items node again, and we add these 2 code nodes to concatenate body text code and extract and clean content code, and you want that to kind of go back. And this is basically to give the OpenAI API key a more clean field of code, or a clean file of code. Then the AI extracts the data, summarizes the data. Obviously, you can read it already here in this title, and it's pretty straightforward. SEO copywriter agent. And this is where you can basically give the AI a role and instructions, right? You can say as a role, hey, you are an experienced, senior copywriter for this company that does this and this and that. So you can explain a little bit more about your company, and you can give it instructions like keep it in this specific tone, keep it, write in a third-person perspective or in a first-person perspective. Right, you can think of different instructions that kind of matches your company or your client's company's, specific type of language or communication. And then we have this humanized text agent, which is basically the same as the one before. You want to kind of repeat it again, but you want to emphasize that human point of view more. So basically saying like, hey, you are a human copywriter. Try to humanize this text. Remove those like long hyphens, I don't know what they're called, that AI always provides. Make the text a little bit more human, right? Also give it some other types of instructions and make it clear to kind of keep the main information from here so that it doesn't delete some core facts or key information that this copywriter agent provided us with, right? And then at the end, like I said before, bringing it into a Google Drive so that you and your teammates can actually get the information and say like, hey, okay, this is good, this isn't good, let's post it on our website, and so on and so forth. So we saw some good, N8N automation examples. It's a very, steep learning curve to learn N8N, but it does a job, right? And you have to kind of test this over and over again to kind of see if it works. But if you actually learn this, you can actually get good results, right? It's a very, tailored process. You can tailor it to your own types of needs. These were just like quick templates that I sketched up, right? So basically it is a steep learning curve, but there are other tools out there that are similar to these N8N processes, but they actually, do the job great. And they're basically tailored to do these specific workflows that I just showed you. And this tool is called Arvow, and you can basically it says get 3 free articles. But basically when you go into your dashboard, you can, come up with different keywords. You can add your different keywords and create SEO articles related to that keyword. And I know that what you're thinking, you're saying like, hey, these AI SEO writers are pretty bland. They give you bland information. And that's totally true. But this one is a different game, right? This is a different monster because it has all of these different, steps that something like this would have, but already built in. So you're going to see it, right? So if I go to SEO article, right, and I click on SEO keyword and I put something like, I can put something like deep fishing boating gear for kids, right? It's a random keyword. Let's click on add keyword. And it basically takes us here where we can just click over here on this little pen tool. And we have all of these different things that we were trying to generate with this previous workflow, right? So instead of having to do that with nodes and having to go to different types of APIs, and maybe some APIs are free, maybe some aren't, we have this tool that basically is all in one and works really well, right? We have our details, we can generate a specific title with AI based on this keyword, like kid-friendly deep sea fishing gear. We can generate different keywords, as I said before. So junior deep sea tackle, fishing essentials for young anglers, best boat gear, kid-safe deep sea fishing supplies, children offshore, and you can add even more keywords if you want. You can create an outline of this specific article, right? So it creates an outline like this. The content, you can, change the language, change the target country, make the tone of voice funny, sarcastic, neutral, change the point of view. You can create your you can connect your website, you can connect your social media to the knowledge base so that it kind of knows all of your different internal links and all of your different social media posts. You can add a specific call to action if you wanted to, like have a call to action to a specific product. You can add internal linking, add a bunch of internal links, like 6 per H2, add different external linkings, exclude external linkings from your competitors, generate images with AI or add your own images, and even add YouTube videos, right? Automate YouTube videos. Let's just check on that, click on save changes, and voila, we get kid-friendly deep sea fishing gear with all of the specific content that I gave us before. We also have here our little YouTube videos, right? We have a bunch of different external links. You can add different internal links as well. I don't have a phishing website, but if you did, you can add your internal links, or it would add it automatically. And this saves you all of the time that you had, to create these n8n workflows. You can basically, for example, select this piece of text, add some external links. It's going to do the research for you. You can, for example, over here, just click on here and it has this kid-friendly gear. It takes you to this specific website. We can just open it in a new tab. And as you can see, the best rig to get kids into fishing, right? You can also select other types of text and rewrite them, add keywords, ask AI to basically format them in a different way. And then once you're done, you can basically just download the article. You can save it so that your other team members can view it. You can also publish it directly into your website. So you have all these different options, right? So instead of doing something complicated like this, this also works. As I said, it's also a steep learning curve. If you're down to learn it, it's also something that you can do. But a tool like Arvow basically provides you with all of these different automations inside of their product. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.